I dropped my drunk friend off at home at night. And her mother said, "Would you like to stay over?" The street was quiet in that way only late nights are, too still, like the world was holding its breath. The headlights cut through the darkness as I pulled up in front of her house, my heart pounding harder than it should have for such a simple favor. "I'm so sorry," she mumbled from the passenger seat, her head resting against the window. "I didn't mean to ruin your night." "You didn't," I said quickly. "You called me because you trusted me. That matters." Her name was Emma, and we'd been friends for years. Not the dramatic, movie-style friendship, just the kind built from shared classes, inside jokes, and quiet support when life got heavy. That night, a work party had gone wrong. Too many drinks, too much pressure, and no one she thought she could rely on except me. I parked, turned off the engine, and helped her out of the car. She leaned on me, embarrassed, apologetic, fragile in a way people rarely allow themselves to be. The porch light flicked on. The front door opened. And her mother stood there. She looked at us, really looked. At Emma, barely holding herself together. At me, steadying her, making sure she didn't stumble. There was no anger in her eyes. No suspicion. Just concern. "Hi," I said softly. "I'm sorry it's late." Emma had a bit too much to drink. I wanted to make sure she got home safe. Her mother stepped forward immediately, wrapping an arm around Emma. "Thank you for bringing her," she said. Then she looked at me again, her voice gentle but firm. "It's late. Roads aren't safe at this hour. Would you like to stay over?" The question caught me completely off guard. "Oh, no, that's okay," I replied instinctively. "I don't want to impose." She smiled, the kind of smile that makes you feel like you're already family. "You're not imposing. You did a kind thing tonight. Let us return it." I hesitated. Somewhere deep down, I felt something warm crack open, a feeling I hadn't realized I needed. So I nodded. Inside, the house was calm and softly lit. Emma was guided upstairs, mumbling another apology before disappearing into her room. Her mother motioned for me to sit at the kitchen table. "Tea?" she asked. "Yes, please." As the kettle boiled, the silence felt different, not awkward, but reflective. She sat across from me, hands wrapped around her mug. "You know," she said quietly, "a lot of people would have left her there tonight." I swallowed. I couldn't. She studied me for a moment. "Why not?" I thought about it. About how easy it would have been to say I was busy. About how many times I'd wished someone would show up for me when I felt small. "Because I'd want someone to do the same for me," I finally said. She nodded slowly. "That's how you can tell someone's character." Her words hit deeper than I expected. She told me about Emma, how strong she tried to be, how hard she pushed herself, how rarely she asked for help. I listened, realizing how little we really know about the silent battles people fight every day. When it was time to sleep, she showed me to the guest room. The bed was neatly made, a folded blanket at the foot, a glass of water on the nightstand. Such a simple thing, but it felt like care in its purest form. I lay awake longer than I meant to. Not because I was uncomfortable, but because I was thinking. About how kindness often goes unnoticed. About how compassion doesn't need an audience. About how one small decision, to answer a late-night call, had led to something quietly profound. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the window. The smell of coffee drifted down the hall. At the breakfast table, Emma looked embarrassed but sober, her cheeks flushed. "I heard you stayed," she said. "I'm really sorry." "Don't be," I replied. "I'm glad you called me." Her mother set a plate in front of me. "You're always welcome here," she said simply. Emma looked at me then, really looked, and something unspoken passed between us. Gratitude. trust. Maybe even the realization that kindness changes how you see people. As I left the house later that morning, I felt lighter. Not because I'd done something heroic, but because I'd done something human. That night reminded me of something we often forget in our busy, guarded lives. Kindness doesn't have to be loud. Compassion doesn't need permission. And sometimes, the smallest acts, showing up, staying a little longer, caring when it's inconvenient, can leave the deepest impact. I drove away knowing one thing for sure. The world becomes a better place every time we choose to look after one another.